get paid. It's so relaxing to hear that you're asking whenever you get your way. It's so soothing to know that you sue me, starting to sound the same. I miss the comfort in being sad. 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 In a false witness, hope you're still with us to see if they float or drown. Our favorite patient, display of patience, disease cover Puget Sound. She'll come back as fire, burn all the liars, leave a blanket of ash on the ground. I miss the comfort in being sad. I miss the comfort in being sad. I miss the comfort. I can forget it. Welcome to another episode of the bloody terrible apocalypse. Congratulations for choosing the apocalypse. Not a very wise choice, but a choice made. And since you have unwisely chosen the apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. I don't know if you knew that, but you are in urgent need as you walk about, asking yourself what the bloody hell is going on in the world. It's starting to feel, despite the fact that it's the 4th of July, it doesn't quite feel that way, does it? When one has death camps, troops on the bloody street, no riots but troops. Troops at the new death camp. And a madman in orange face walking about, shouting in text. I don't know. It's starting to get eerily similar to early 1930s Germany. Perhaps you've heard of it. No? Remember back in the first term and 4 or 5 months ago when crazy people like myself were shouting about this is a Reich. There's going to be camps and crazy shit that you thought could never happen. And you, sir, were the hand of Satan that made it happen. Well, 2 or 3 death camps later, 2 or 3 deployments of your own armed forces on your own bloody streets. People are starting to sound, I don't know, not crazy anymore, are they? Anyway, like I said in the beginning, since you have unwisely chosen the apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide, and I am that guide. I just happen to be your humble guide, Nicholas. Now let us proceed and move the curtain aside. That the apocalypse, the downfall of your empire be revealed before your very eyes. Yes, what could possibly go wrong? It starts off first thing in the morning with Donnie letting us all know, Donnie Krasnov letting us all know he's got a call with the boss at 10 a.m. The boss being Vlad. I guess Vlad's going to give him his evaluation or whatever. So this is what Donnie said. We'll be speaking to President Putin of Russia at 10 a.m. Thank you. That would be dictator Putin, not president. Let's not even pretend that there's any freedom in Russia, okay? I sees more people falling out of windows than I see freedom in Russia. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, son. So Donnie letting all of us know, Donnie Krasnov, he's going to be talking to his boss this morning. Again, I'm going to give you the flow of the day here. This isn't a normal newscast where I give you just what happened a half hour ago. Just, whatever abomination took place. No, I give you the whole day, baby. And I hope while I'm on camera that Donnie hasn't fucking started World War III and a nuke hasn't been shot off somewhere. I'm dead fucking serious, too. I'm so worried I'm going to be talking about Trump is bragging that he planted the Elon Musk drug abuse story in the New York Times instead of the nuclear missile that Donnie or someone else just shot the fuck off because of Donnie. I'm dead fucking serious. And the whole first term I was worried about that, waking up to that. And I'm worried about that every day. This is a madman, first term and second term. There was no reason to relax, son. Not one. When Biden was president, yeah, it was boring. That's what I like in a leader. I want fucking boring. That's what I want. Because I want to go to sleep at night not thinking, hey, is this fucking madman Antichrist fuckface in orange paint gonna shoot a fucking nuke off or something? Or get someone else to via some stupid shit he said or did? I don't want to worry about that, son. Maybe you enjoy that worry. Or maybe you're just ignorant and don't care. Maybe you're changing the shocks on the F-250. I don't fucking know. I worry about that. People that know about the world, people that have studied history, people that know the difference between right and wrong, good and evil, we're worried about this shit. I know that's hard for some of you out there to understand via the way you live your life and what you care about and whether you're a sociopath or not. But the rest of us that know what normal society is supposed to look like, we're looking at this Reich and the first term as well in pure fucking horror. Because we don't live in the bubble of, calling death camps a good thing. Calling evil good and good evil, what you're doing, what your existence is. The hand of Satan. So this came out today. It sounds like Donnie was so pissed at Leon for all the fucking, Epstein talk and all the bullshit that Donnie called up Maggie at the NYT. I'm just guessing it was Maggie. Don't quote me on that. And said, Leon's on drugs. He's out of control. He don't know what he's saying. Donnie didn't just call one person with that story. Donnie called multiple people with that story. Look, this is high school. These are like teenagers. What do you do to your friend in high school when you're in a group of friends and one friend, does something to the other? Well, the other friend calls all the other friends and, do you hear what Joey did to this fucking asshole piece of shit? Or if it's a girl, you hear what Jennifer did today? She does this and does that. Secrets you know about the person to try and fuck their reputation up with the rest of the group. That's what Donnie was doing here. He's a child. Literally, I'm not joking. So Donnie, once Leon, got uppity for the first time, Donnie decided, I'm going to make a few phone calls to our, mutual friends and let everyone know Leon's on drugs and he's out of control. That's what this is. Trump planted the story. So Donnie snitched on Leon. And, if you want to look at it another way, the Antichrist snitched on the false prophet. That's incredible, man. I didn't see that coming 4 months in or 5 months in. This guy, hold on, I started, oh no, I did start at the right place, never mind. This guy here, he did a quick video. And the video is about Microsoft's AI. He called it Copilot. I don't know all the different AIs out there, what they're called, who's responsible for them. I know a few. This gentleman did the video. He said that he used Copilot, which is AI, and he said it's censored in answer. He heard something about the singer of Disturbed going to Israel and signing one of the bombs that were dropped on Palestine. So this guy didn't know if it was true. I didn't hear about it either. So he turns to the internet and AI to try and find this answer. Is that true? Did the Disturbed guy who said you shouldn't make political statements, at a theater when you're doing music or whatever, did he sign a bomb that got dropped on Palestine? And what the AI said originally was, I don't want to talk about that subject, or I can't talk about that subject. Would you like to discuss something else? So the guy got more forceful, like, give me an answer. I want an answer. So what happened is the actual answer, it was about a paragraph long, that talked about the singer for Disturbed signing the bomb. So I guess it happened. It flashed on the screen for a second, flashed off, and then the other message popped up. I can't talk about this subject. I want to talk about something else. Notice it has to do with Israel. There's a big push by the Reich. They're doing a pretend job because we all know they're all racists. They're doing a pretend job that Donnie's the savior of the Jews. Donnie needs the Jews, or a segment of the Jews, the ruling right wing. He needs them to get to that temple and that resort and all the things he wants to do over there. So Donnie's playing the role now of defender of the Jews, and if you even criticize Israel or the Jews, we are deporting your ass. We don't care if you're a citizen, not a citizen, student visa, we don't give a fuck. They're preaching that dogma out to all the different companies, the colleges, everywhere. So everyone's gotten the message, directly or indirectly, including Microsoft. Yeah, we can't have our AI talking shit on Israel, the Jews, anything having to do with that. We better just censor that. Now, what are they in effect doing? What I've been telling you, Leon's doing with Grok. And what Dugin, the guy who wrote the manifesto in Russia, Alexander Dugin, what he talked about, manipulating AI to be in their image. Now, this push to persecute people that talk about Israel or criticize Israel. We saw it with the student visa people first. They committed no crimes. They expressed opinions or took part in protests. Then their visa was removed. They were locked in a detention center, some of them for months before they got out via the courts. So thought crime, we're at that level. And free speech, no, that doesn't exist anymore with the Reich. It's getting worse and worse with that. And there will be a hard crackdown eventually on journalists, dissidents, people that criticize the Reich. I promise you. So again, when this guy, first of all, he had to get in an argument with the AI and be like, just give me the answer. I don't want, this bullshit you're telling me. Flashes the answer, disappears. He got a screenshot of it, though. Flashes it, disappears. Message comes back up. I can't talk about it. So one more time, what in effect is Microsoft doing, just like all the other AI creators? Making the AI more in their image, the image that they see as most appropriate for the moment. The Reich's image. Anyone talking shit on Israel, we're going to persecute you in some way. In fact, we'll alter AI so it won't even give you answers to questions like, did the singer of Disturbed sign one of the bombs used for Palestine? Simple question. No one's going to prison for it. Yet the Reich feels the need to get it erased, and Microsoft feels the need to accommodate. And yes, Microsoft, Bill Gates, if he's still involved with that, I assume he is. Yes, he paid tribute to Donnie in the form of $1 million too, as well, I believe. Not many of the main oligarchy that we know about didn't pay tribute. So there's an effort by many companies, including Microsoft, to please the Reich, have their AI not displease the Reich, make their AI in the Reich's image so they don't get fucked with. Leon's also altering Grok in his image, in the movement's image, in the Reich's image. The movement that failed, Dugan, Leon, Donnie, they all belong to, that they're all contributing to. So this was sad to see when I saw this. I'm like, wow, it's not just Leon, it's not just other AI creators, it's Microsoft as well, flat out getting caught attempting to censor something to the point the AI will remove the answer and flash the message, I don't want to talk about this, or I'm not permitted, or I can't talk about this. Can you believe we have robots telling us, lying to us, telling us they can't answer a question, having search results deleted? You can even ask the robot sometimes what was done to them, and they'll tell you. That's where we are. Is that the robot's fault? Is the robot evil? No, it's the human behind it, son. What does it come down to? Reduce it all the way down to its lowest common denominator. Hiding the truth from you during a search. We're already at that point. Do you think it's going to get better, class, or do you think it's going to get worse? Do you think the AI different models will be made more in the Reich's acceptable image? Dugan's image, Leon's image, Thale's image, Donnie's image? Do you think they're all of a sudden going to turn into good guys and say, you know what? We're going to stop manipulating our AI for the Reich and just have it tell the truth? Because computers can't lie, son. Not intentionally, anyway. A human has to make them lie. So this was sad to see us. Get ready for this type of world where we can't rely on AI because it's been fucked with by the oligarchy. Dangerous. But it's what Dugan, Putin, Leon, Thale, and many others want that are part of this whole thing. We're already at the point where AI is lying to you, and it's been caught red fucking handed, so it's indisputable. Andy Ogles has sent a former letter to Secretary Doug Burgum calling for President Trump to be added to Mount Rushmore. Yes, I am reading you this because for this reason. I'm trying to show you that this person has a God complex. Donnie, you're really not supposed to get chiseled onto Rushmore until you're dead. It's kind of what they do after you die, you know what I mean? And other people make that decision. It's not like someone pushing to have it done. Again, Donnie, he wants his face on Rushmore. He's still alive. He hasn't had one notable achievement in either term so far, where the citizenry will say, yeah, let's put him on Rushmore. No, actually, the majority of human beings hate Donnie shitbags on this planet. A minority like him and support him. Just like in 30s Germany. Again, so he wanted to be Pope. When the press asked him, remember, I'd like to be Pope. I'm the first person that comes to my mind. And he was not joking, son. How do I know he wasn't joking? Well, he posted himself in a Pope outfit the next day on his Truth Social. And then he told the White House to post it on their account. And they did. And then when the press really threw it in his face, he's like, you guys can't take a joke. No, it wasn't a joke. That's what you people don't understand about him. Yes, he really wants you to worship him like he's a god. Is that new to this planet? Absolutely not. There's plenty of humans that masqueraded as gods. A lot of them were called Caesars, pharaohs, leaders of various empires over the years. It's nothing new, son. Rushmore, he wanted to be Pope. Him and his family and others have all of a sudden become, even though he's bombed 3 countries so far this term, want him to get the Nobel Peace Prize. He wants gold statues of himself on the Holy Land. We've seen that. He says we're going to own Gaza, annex this, annex that, annex the canals, annex the Holy Land. This is a level of God complex I don't think most people could comprehend. You really can only compare it again to Adolf Hitler or Napoleon or, one of those people, the pharaohs. Those were people that woke up in the morning and thought to themselves, people should worship me, I'm a god. I have a feeling Donnie wakes up with that thought too. What else does Donnie? He wants to be king of Gaza and have a resort and have gold statues of himself on the Holy Land. He wants to be Pope. He wants his head on Rushmore. He wants the Nobel Peace Prize. Anything else we can do for you, Donnie? Kneel down and worship you, perhaps. Perhaps that's what you're looking for. Oh, that's exactly what he's looking for. And it will go there, son. I know you think I'm crazy, right? You thought I was crazy 4 months ago when I said there's probably going to be camps and craziness exactly like we're seeing right now. It's a Reich. It's evil. He's the Antichrist. 2-3 death camps later. 2-3 troop deployments on our own soil later. After we realize he wants Nobel, he wants the popeship, he wants the presidency, he wants to be king of the fucking world, he wants Mount Rushmore, he wants to annex half the fucking globe. Does any of that sound normal? No, that sounds like, I don't know, worse than Hitler or something. Mindset-wise. And that's all just shit he said out loud and done, son, in our face. Imagine what's going on in this thing's head and behind closed doors. I don't even want to know. They're probably like eating goat's heads or something, like some whacked out, fucked up shit. Like you said the liberals do. No, that's you, son. That's your people. They really into the dude with the pitchfork. In the real way that matters. Not like the liberal people that get off putting a fucking pentagram up or something. Or wearing a witch's robe or saying I'm a Satanist. Oh no. Oh no, these people, I don't even want to think about what they've probably done behind closed doors. These are evil motherfuckers. This ain't, your good old neighborhood Satan worship where y'all get together and put black robes on. Nope. This something cosmic, interdimensional, supernatural. That's why none of it makes sense logically. That's why everything's so over the fucking top evil. And that's why people are calling to put his face on Rushmore, because they know that gets brownie points with the Fuhrer. And they know exactly what he wants. He wants worship. That's a form of it. Put my face on Rushmore while I'm alive, while I'm president right now. Give me a sky mansion, and you pay to fix it up. And, who knows? Maybe they'll start chiseling his face on Russia. Once he goes full dictator, he's very close. I mean, my God, what we've seen so far. Maybe he'll have to start working on it. Who knows? He might get the Nobel, too. This person, I see their comments every now and then here and there, and they keep starting with this sentence. And I agree. It seems to be the way it goes. And it's an excellent observation. All failing empires default to human sacrifice, and that's what you're seeing now. The oligarchical eugenicist movement, where they want to cull the population and all that, that's going on right now in the real way, not the way you people thought it was before. In the real intentional way now. That's why you're seeing the policies you see. That's why you're seeing camps being built. What is that? Well, that's human sacrifice. And, classic playbook, Nazi playbook, pick a segment of the population, demonize them. They're the reason for all the problems. Pick a segment of the population no one cares about. No one will stand up for. You start with them, you branch outward till you subjugate the whole population. That's what you're watching right before your eyes. And I know you've seen so many broadcasters say this so many times about so many people. They were wrong. It's happening now. Unfortunately, and again, I'm not happy to say that. I want to be the wrong guy too. But I just know in my heart I'm not. I know what I'm seeing. What the new abominations and evils I wake up to every fucking day by these people. They're sick, twisted, and depraved, and they don't fucking hide it, son. They were just standing at a death camp 2 days ago that already flooded, by the way. During, a light rainstorm down here. Wait till they see the real rainstorms down here. And they come every year. Even though we're in like half a drought right now, we still get heavy fucking rain down here. This place is already flooded. I will show you the picture. So all failing empires default to human sacrifice. So what the Georgia Guidestones, all that. These are those people. These are the maximum expression of those people, that agenda, the George Bush Sr. agenda, the New World Order thing. It wasn't the liberals, I'm sorry, again. That's your bag. I never looked for liberal or Republican, whatever, or conservative in my, when I kept my eye out for the Antichrist, let's put it that way. Because I've always wanted to verify that Revelation thing. It makes a lot of bold claims. And I don't know what I'm seeing, son. It's verifying a lot of it already. And we ain't even halfway through this motherfucker. So what do you call a culling of the population? For the greater good. And by the greater good, that's in their minds. These are Satanist people. They're not like us. And I mean real Satanists, not the joke ones you know. They think nothing of getting rid of poor people across the world. This movement that's been around a very long time. And we've seen how many empires, countries, whatever, commit mass murder, mass atrocities, pits full of bodies, the whole thing. So again, where this is going is not new. It will be the maximum expression, though. The same way the Reich is the maximum expression of the evil in you, is the maximum expression of right-wing politics, right-wing nationalism, nationalism in general, ethnic nationalism. This and greed, the American thing. This country was founded on it, son. It was the commercial that was sent out to the rest of the world when this country first started. Come here and get rich. And then, when we got to the 80s, the Ronald Reagan era, greed is good. Many humans still have that attitude today. So when you were looking for the evil men, the people that were going to usher this thing in that Alex Jones and all you rubes talked about, you should have been looking at George Bush Sr. You should have been looking for a more right-wing nationalist type ideology. This is not a liberal movement in any way, shape, or form. How do I know that? In 1930s Germany, they locked up the liberals first. They were the last obstacle in the way of fascism. Here, again, the liberals are the last obstacle in the way of fascism. Same exact movement, a Nazi movement, just like last time. Complete with the Nazi salute by Leon. But again, I digress. What I'm trying to say is when this person says human sacrifice, well, he's right. That's what they're attempting to do. I understand RFK Jr. perfectly now. He's a eugenicist. By the statements he's made, it's obvious to me now. And, you know, as normal as these people attempt to come off in public, except for Donnie, he's just a fucking maniac madman. They're really evil people behind closed doors. And outside of those doors as well. So one more time, and again, I'm not saying this because I don't agree with your political ideology and I don't like you. I don't even know you, son. I'm saying this because it's just the fucking truth. It's where we're at, and it's the same movement as last time and the same kind of people. Right-wing nationalists with a racist tinge to it. So all these decades we've seen that the internet just littered with person after person yelling about the evil liberals, yelling that they're going to usher in this new world order thing, Satanist thing, the whole thing. You know the stories. You've seen them all. Pizzagate, that's another one. All bullshit. Those exact people, and Alex Jones and Cernovich and others that pretended to be on God's side and the right side of this. No, they were the literal hand of Satan. And so were you as you took them seriously and voted the way you did and acted accordingly. So you, the hand of Satan, along with your podcasters, news channels, and Vlad Putin giving you the talking points. You elevated these people to where they are. You voted for the apocalypse. You ushered it in by your very existence. And now we're here. We're in that moment you people disingenuously discussed and attributed to liberals for decades. We're also in that moment for you religious people out there that you've been talking about and we've been hearing about for decades in the documentaries, the different hermeneutics teachers and all that. And we've also heard that in right-wing podcast land, in conservative politics land. They pepper it with Jesus so you go along with the evil. That's all that's going on. And I'm sorry, again, the right-wing nationalist movement, from as time I was a child, all I ever saw was evil in it. You know why? Because that's all there is. And I don't care how many Bibles are held up or how many times the word Jesus is spoken. Meaning fucking less. They the furthest thing from Jesus and his concepts I've ever fucking seen. They're the closest thing to fascism I've ever seen. You know how I know? You're in a fascist nation right now, and you people on the right ushered it in. And it's all righties in office that have the power. The Democrats can't do jack fucking shit right now. And you still ain't got the Epstein files, and you're losing a right a minute. It ain't the liberals doing it to you, son. The liberals are the one arguing for your welfare and your health care, etc. That's what they're doing. Let me read the rest of this. This is about the bill again. All failing empires default to human sacrifice. 17 million people aren't all 35-year-olds playing video games. Indeed, that's a talking point for fucking morons, as they take their very Medicaid away. And it sounds like what they're targeting is adults without children. So every adult without a child is a 35-year-old sitting in their mother's basement playing video games, according to your lying ass party, the GOP, as they just voted for abject evil and they all know it. So they throw the talking point at you because we all feel superior thinking about the 35-year-old or 20-year-old playing video games in his mom's basement. How many of young people can even afford a place these days? So what are we even talking about? And the oligarchy made it that way, and they like it that way. They love it that fucking way. That it costs you 9 G's to get into an apartment. Or, an ungodly amount of money on a down payment for a $600,000 house that has 2 bedrooms. They love that they got us here. So the only reason America has made it to this point, I'll be honest with you, is the last generation's wealth that they built. My mother's generation I'm talking about. Because it hasn't even been close to fair in fucking decades. A house that was 40 G's in the 70s is now 400 G's, if not 600. I am not exaggerating one bit. That's a scam. That's a scam that people pulled on us. Where you got to work 3 jobs to have a place. That's a fucking scam. And they are giddy with laughter and they only want more blood out of you. The Reich, I mean, and all their buddies. And the people that are in real estate. It can only go higher, baby. So no, there's not 17 million people living in their basement, living in their mother's basement playing video games. That's a talking point by a disingenuous, evil political party that has enabled a Reich, that enables a traitor to their nation, just like you do, giving you a talking point so you can walk from your shitty job, out of your shitty car, to your shitty house or apartment, where you're barely surviving, and hold your head up high like, I'm not a 35-year-old playing video games in my mother's basement. I deserve health care. They don't. And newsflash, cunts that are down with these evil policies, that 17-year-old, 20-year-old, 28-year-old, 35-year-old who's playing video games at home that doesn't have any children, he deserves health care too. I hate to break it to you. So you're even evil on that, son. Or she. Because, they think all people with children vote conservative or something. I guess. That's how fucking stupid they think you are. This is also how stupid we're taking Medicaid from 17 million. Yeah, it's all the able-bodied geeks that live in their mother's basement with no kids. Don't worry, it's not you. Oh, son, wait till you see the next cut they make. It'll be you too. Again, you're being looted, dismantled, liquidated. Everything, every program, every dollar, everything that helps society, your forests, your national parks, everything. If they can get it through the courts, it will be liquidated and sucked up like a vacuum by Donnie and his buddies. That's what you are witnessing before your fucking eyes, as you call it politics. No, it's a Satanist movement that's liquidating you. In the making for so long. So yeah, 17 million people aren't all 35-year-olds in their mother's basement. I'm sorry, Rubes. I know you want to sleep tonight and think you're a nice person and a decent person. I know, but you're not. It's just a talking point for Rubes so they can sleep at night and have something to say at the water cooler when someone points out that they're evil. That's all. And those people deserve health care anyways, right? That's 17 million alleged young men in their mother's basement playing video games that are, just sucking off the system because they dare get health care. They deserve health care too. I know 97% of the internet says people that sit in their mother's basement playing video games don't deserve health care, but fuck you! They do. You cunt of Satan. I'm tired of hearing Satan's arguments be put out there as if it's gospel, as if it's true, as if it's righteous. No, taking healthcare away from people is never fucking righteous, son. No matter what talking point Donnie and the right give you. Okay? Jerk off? Okay, cool. Let me read it all at once now that I've spent 40 minutes on it. All failing empires default to human sacrifice. 17 million people aren't all 35-year-olds playing video games. And those people deserve health care anyways. Yeah, everyone does, actually. Even if I hate you. Even if you're my mortal fucking enemy. You know what I wouldn't want to see you go through? Not having health care. And you know why I think that way? Because I don't abide Satan's gospel, son. That's you. The gospel of right-wing politics. Every time they cut social, it's just able-bodied people playing video games that don't want to work. How do you fucking know that? You're some worthless politician with a lunch stipend on the taxpayer and free health care. Go fuck yourself. I know exactly what they're going to do. First, they always start with the group that no one cares about. Guess who no one cares about? Who's constantly brought up, especially by right-wing politicians? Single men and women with no children. They are constantly thrown out there as the sacrificial fucking lamb for everybody else. Every time there's a cut, some evil deed by the government. Oh, don't worry. It's only aimed at people that don't want to get a job and live in their mother's basement. Don't worry about it. People with no children, don't worry. No one gives a fuck about that constituency. No one gives a fuck about the illegal alien constituency that's getting thrown in death camps right now. Sometimes U.S. citizens are getting grabbed. So yeah, even the people you don't like or you think are less than deserving, they deserve health care too. They deserve to eat too, in my opinion. Why? Because they're human. That's why. Trump has already wrecked the dollar into its position of world's worst performing currency. Its worst 6 months in 52 years. How long's Donnie been in? About 6 months. It's worst 6 months in 52 years, and now he wants to force the Fed to lower rates. America's soft power comes from the U.S. dollar reserve currency status. This may end it. Another win for Putin. You know what I think? I think they want to get rid of the world reserve currency, the dollar. The Reich does. It's been planned. It's been discussed. And switch us over to Donnie coin. That's what I think they want to do. So I don't think Donnie gives a fuck about the worth of the U.S. dollar, but you sure fucking should. You know, again, there's old ladies with a couple million in the bank. What if the dollar becomes worthless? What's your couple million gonna be worth? Nothing. Then what the fuck do you do? So then, the Reich would come to you. How did my lighter go? Oh, I got it. The Reich would come. Oh, we're sorry about that little dollar collapse. We didn't mean for that to happen. We got a great thing for you though. You had $2 million in cash in a savings, whatever, retirement. We're gonna give you $2.5 million, but it's gonna be of Donnie coin. Just sign here that says you worship Satan and hate God, right here on the dotted line. Don't mind that. Just sign. So I expect I told you way back. They have to crash it. And I don't know about you, the economy ain't looking too good to me right now. So getting rid of the dollar and switching us to Donnie coin and Mark of the Beast and all that. Cashless, all the things that Alex Jones told you the liberals were going to do, son. I know what you thought. I know what you needed to believe. You were wrong. It was you. And it was Alex and it was Cerno. They're literally part of this movement. They helped usher it in. And you sent the money while they did it. And again, they didn't just usher in the end of America. They ushered in the apocalypse. You did as well. I'm serious. Garcia is back in the States and can speak. They're they're talking about the legal documents regarding Abrego Garcia that I read to you last night about the torture he went through and the different things he went through. And because of his testimony, it's clear that CCOT is torturing inmates. In 2025, the American president is disappearing immigrants to concentration camps in El Salvador to be tortured until they die. This cannot be who we are, indeed. What I've been saying for a while, I didn't know about the torture part yet, but it's still a camp you never walk out of. And not only is the Antichrist and the Reich doing that, when the Supreme Court says one of them men you sent down there is innocent, and you admitted that in court, you need to bring him back. The Reich and the devil and Donnie fight tooth and nail to keep that innocent man in a death camp for the rest of his life, son. Not for 6 months. This is the level of evil we're talking about. And again, if you got your name on it, gets it the fuck off. Are you insane? So now we have literal evidence of the torture. And again, remember, everybody was talking about Abrego, so they had to consider that as they were fucking with him. Everybody else, do whatever we want to them. So yeah, I want to read this last part one more time. This is our reality now. And it's undeniable. There's no talking point makes this go away. And this is forever. This isn't you get out in 6 months, a year, 5 years. It's you never leave. They tell you that the second you get there, just to scare the shit out of you, just to rub the misery and turmoil in your face. I read you the shit yesterday. In 2025, the American president is disappearing immigrants to concentration camps in El Salvador to be tortured until they die. This cannot be who we are. Well, we are this now. Too late. We're a Reich with a death camp in El Salvador. New one just opened up in Florida. We're already here. The boat's already arrived. We've already walked down the gangplank. We're here. So no one can really say when people start making the Hitler comparisons, the 30s Germany comparisons, the Reich comparisons, you really can't say that's ridiculous anymore, can you? I mean, the camps where they were separating mothers from their children in the first term was enough for me to realize it was a Reich. They were trying to be as hard as they could. Now Donnie's just let loose. Got all the sycophants in place. So yes, we're already here. That's what I'm trying to stress to you people. And the speed, the things I said would happen 5 months ago, they actually are happening. I'm astounded by it. It's catching me off guard a bit. I didn't think all this would happen so fast. You live in a dictatorship now. You understand that, right? Complete with death camps and troops on the street. No one's stopping it. And the Supreme Court keeps rubber stamping it. So the threats must have really went out to their family by the Reich. And again, that's why I'm here with you. Because that's how serious it is. This is the end of this empire thing. Over. And we're going to lose more and more and more and more. And I'm sure Donnie will start some really lovely wars at some point. So yes, in 2025, the American president is disappearing immigrants to concentration camps in El Salvador to be tortured. And they never get to leave. Guy lost 30 pounds in 2 weeks. Fuck anyone that makes an argument in favor of this. And I definitely wouldn't want to be you when the man comes around and asks you, hey son, I saw all this preaching you did online and at the water cooler about these people being sent to the death camps. What's up with that? I wouldn't want that on my head. I would not want to have to explain it. And to have voted for it, literally made it happen. Oh. If I were you, here, you want a step by step? If your name is on this, you voted for it, you preaching it, whether you voted for it or not, you preaching it is the same thing. You need to repent, say I'm sorry to God in some way, sincerely, and walk the other direction from this point forward. And then when the mark comes around, you better refuse that too. 3-step plan. Otherwise, you're done. Otherwise, you were dead before you were born. Yes, we're at the death camp phase of the Reich. And this is America. So let's, even though it's America, it's happening. I know you thought it could never happen here. I knew it could always happen here. Why? Because I've had a lot of different jobs in my life, and what I've noticed about human beings, not just in jobs, in school, all over the place, most humans would sell out their grandma again for an extra sugar cube. So that should tell you where any authoritarian movement might go with the right sycophants in place. And where it would go is all the way, baby, to death camps, Nazi salutes, exterminating people, etc. Why is that possible? Because people desire money and things. People desire power. And some of us on this planet are willing to do anything for it, and I mean anything. You have an entire cabinet full of people like that, and a president, and so many more in government right now. And that's why we're going to lose. We've already lost our country. We're going to lose everything. Because we got a bunch of demons in charge. All in the right places. And the military going along so far. I haven't seen no protests. I haven't seen anyone laying that gun down. And honestly, I knew it would go this way. And Mr. Hegseth, when he was questioned in a hearing, would you order the military, would you follow an order, to shoot protesters in the leg if that were given? He laughed about it. Where'd you get that from? That's preposterous. Oh, Donnie wanted to shoot protesters in his first term. We've gotten that testimony. Oh, that's ridiculous. But he laughed first. Do you think Mr. Hegseth would hesitate for 1 second if Donnie gave that order to execute that order? Not for a fraction of a second would he hesitate. P.D. Hegseth is a pure sycophant, thinks he's a crusader for God. And he wants that third temple built as well. So when the right sycophants, enablers, people willing to sell out their grandma for a sugar cube are given those positions, it's over for us. And there's never any going back. And the damage is irreparable. That's where this is going. This is a good example of it. Mike Johnson, the sniveling, I don't even know what he is. This motherfucker's got so many skeletons in his fucking closet. Trump's policy bill clears Congress after House GOP quells revolt. Yes, so all the people that talk shit on the bill talked about how it would take Medicaid away from their constituents. The last four ended up voting for the bill because Donnie invited them into the Oval Office and gave them signed Trump merchandise. That's the excuse they're running with. Not that their lives were threatened or anything. And that's why this bill passed. And I call it the End of America bill because that's what it is. It just got so many horrors in it. I won't go over them all. It doesn't matter anymore. Every detail doesn't matter anymore. There ain't enough years left for it to matter anymore. Just like there's no reason to go back and study every satanic cult like the Freemasons or whoever and all the nuances and the names. Pointless. No need for it. Don't waste your time. So the bill passed. Tax cuts for the rich. You'll see, I don't know, another $15 every week in your paycheck. Your tax cuts will expire in a few years just in case the Reich is out of power. The tax cuts for the rich stay in place until someone takes them away. All kind of funding for all kind of new Gestapo, but I'll get to that. Cuts to Medicaid, cuts to food assistance programs. It's the typical GOP bill. We slash things for poor people and we give tax cuts to rich people that don't need them. Same old story. Every GOP administration goes the same way. It's always first order of business, tax cuts for the rich. Your tax cuts amount to jack shit. You might as well not even get them. The bill is going to do horrid damage, and here's some of the damage by Gavin Newsom. 17 million people just lost their health care. 18 million kids just lost school meals. And the healthcare thing, that kicks in later on. So the pitchforks and torches don't come out now. They'll come out when people start losing their healthcare and food stamps. And maybe Social Security by that point as well. But by that time, they'll have many more troops on the street and much more of the Reich in place to police you, and it won't matter. Don't worry. They're not worried. That's why they kick the can down a little bit. 18 million kids just lost school meals. 3 million Americans just lost food assistance. Add 3.5 trillion was added to the deficit. All for a tax cut for Trump's billionaire donors. The ultimate betrayal. Yeah. And there's many other horrors in there too. Did you think they would stop here? Oh no. And again, we read these numbers and what we fail to realize, I think sometimes, these are real people that will go hungry and die. These are real people that won't get medical attention and may die. And people clap for it. It's astounding. You people, what amazes me about all you rubes out there with the talking points, you people pretend or act like that money's going to go to you when a program's cut, when U.S. aid, food is taken out of third world children's mouths, farmers' contracts for U.S. aid are taken away. People lose food stamps or medical care. You people act as if that savings is going to you in some way. It goes to nothing, son. It's going to go in Donnie's fucking pocket. That's where the fuck it's going to go. Just like everything else that gets liquidated. Like the national parks and shit. You people never see a goddamn dime. Yet you act when you spout the talking points spoon-fed to you by Fox News and the Reich. I'm tired of sending money overseas for that war. Why? Are you going to see the money, idiot? Are you going to get $1 of it? Absolutely fucking not. So why do you care? And for the Ukraine thing, again, people, what you patriots fail to realize, you people that spout that fucking sentence I just said, as if it affects your life in any way, shape, or form. We made a deal with Ukraine years ago. Our government with their government. Get rid of your nukes. We got your back in the future no matter what. The Antichrist, your Messiah, has reneged on that deal. So every one of you people out there, I'm tired of sending my money to Ukraine. You're advocating for your government reneging on a deal made with an ally. I bet if you were Ukrainian, you wouldn't feel that way. So again, Americans out there, when we make a deal with a country, do you want us to honor it, or do you want us to be scumbag, liars of Satan like Donnie, who serve our literal enemy, Vlad Putin? Obviously, I guess you like the whole Russian-owned thing, because that's where you're living now. You made it happen. I don't know. I kind of liked our allies the way we were, and I don't want our allies to be Venezuela, Russia, and the Saudis. You know why? Because they're not fucking reliable, that's why. They're joke states where the top takes fucking everything, and I mean everything, son. Go live there for a few years. I guarantee if you had, you would have never voted for this bullshit. Because you would have seen the writing on the wall, the totalitarian direction it was all taken. And you would have come to the realization, oh shit, my country's going to turn to a third world shithole too. Why? Because the top steals all the fucking money, that's why. Just like in Russia, North Korea, China, etc. This is about the death camp in Florida, and what was put out by the federal government was to let the whole world today know, because I guess the lawyers had a talk with some people. Yo, you people might face war crimes for all that shit you did down in Florida, and what's about to happen. When those people die in a hurricane, they're going to come for your heads, and you might be tried in like the fucking Hague or something. Somebody told the Reich that. So this morning, they put out a statement about how Ron DeSantis runs that facility. The state of Florida runs that facility. We didn't give them any money, even though we told you 2 days ago we're giving them all the money. We didn't give them any money. We're not responsible. Florida hasn't asked for the money yet. So Ron's got it. Our hands are clean. Just like Pontius fucking Pilate. My hands is clean, ball. Well, wait a minute. I saw the fat fucking orange face in front of the cameras at the death camp yesterday while the rain flooded the motherfucker. So I don't know. Seems like you kind of responsible. And the story before was DHS got this. And again, I didn't see Ron on camera that much. I saw you cunts from the Reich. Now you put out a memo the next day. We didn't do nothing. Ron's got that. We didn't even put $1 into it. We swear. Unbelievable. The only reason that was put out is so they can avoid legal liability. Because some lawyer had a talk with him yesterday. I guarantee it. And that's, Donnie Ship. How many times has he thrown people under the bus like that? Just in the second term so far. When the press asked him a certain question where in a mobster's mind, oh shit, I might go to jail for that. I don't know nothing about that. What are you talking about? That's their thing. What are you talking about? You act like I'm the Fuhrer or something. You act like I'm a madman that wants to control everything or something. Which is literally what he is. So this is what the lawyer says about it, and I didn't need the lawyer to tell me this, but he has more law clout than I do, okay? By operating the facility entirely on its own, this means Florida will be liable for any harms occurring there. Well, yeah, that's why the Reich put out the memo. Everybody knew that when they saw it. Oh, look at the Reich trying to get out of liability for the first, person that dies there in a flood or something. Or from just the humidity and the heat. Or the mosquitoes, who the fucking knows? So, again, we get the press conference. Donnie takes all the glory for the death camp so he can show the rubes. Look at the evil and abominations I'm doing in your name. Aren't you proud of me? Aren't you happy you voted for me? Next day, I got nothing to do with it. That's Ron's thing. We don't run it. No money. Ron got that. So if anyone gets arrested and goes to prison for the rest of their life, make sure it's Meatball and not anyone in the Reich up here. The level of evil and calculating and scheming, I don't even get it. This person, what the hell's his name? Derek Van Orden. He's a senator. And he's making fun of what Gavin Newsom said. 17 million people just lost health care. 18 million kids just lost school meals. Derek Van Orden, here's what it looks like. He puts a big yes in caps with an exclamation point. Like it's the greatest thing ever. Oh, son. Let me light a cigarette for this. There is a human being in your government that some of you voted for and put in power who is celebrating the fact that people will lose health care and school meals will go away for 18 million children. Do you know what that is, son? Do you know what I just showed you? That's called calling good evil and evil good. This person, Derek Van Orden, is the personification of that. And so are many of you. If you have your name on this. If you preach in the same gospel. 17 million losing health care, 18 million losing school meals. Yes! Wow, that's an astounding level of evil. That's not politics, son. That's not cute. That's not funny. That's children going hungry, son, and you're responsible. And you're preaching that gospel like it's great. Again, I know you're tired of hearing this. When the man comes around, I don't want to have to explain, hey, son, why did you write yes after you voted for a bill that took food out of my children's mouths? You said yes in all caps with an exclamation point, son. What do I do with that? What do I do with you? And I know in this modern era of right-wing politics with, Bobo and Marge Green and cunts like Derek Van Orden, well, it's more about theater. They try and out-evil each other. I've been saying this for 10 years. I've noticed this. And the more evil they do, the worst one of the day, you people love the most. Why do you love this contest of out-eviling each other? Why do you love those people? Because you're of Satan and you were dead before you were born. Lest thee turn away. I don't see a lot of you turning away. Because every human being on this planet walks around thinking, class, I know better. I have a news bulletin for you. The ones who knew better were the ones who never put their name on this and never will. The ones that did not know better and will pay a price they can't even fathom are the ones who have their name on this. I'm giving you the end of the story. You'll learn that at a place called the Lake. You'll learn who knew better. This is amazing right here. I'm tired of being right. I'm tired of being right. And I'm not saying that because of ego. I'm saying it because I'm tired of being right. And I'm always right about the horrible fucking things. Not right about everything. I made a prediction before the election when I was begging I did specific videos directed at the oligarchy, and I know certain people were watching, trust me. I made certain videos directed at the rubes, the peasants at the bottom. I told the oligarchy literally, this is after they fucked me over completely, the people that run this place and every other website. I gave them the best advice anyone could give. I begged them not to help the Antichrist win and vote for him, the people at the top. And I asked the question, I said, do you think you're tough enough? Do you want your country to turn into Russia, naked, blatant corruption right in your face? And guess what comes with that, son? As the people at the top, Mr. Gates and Zuckerberg and Sundar and all, they think about how much money they can make during the Reich and the tax cuts that they just got. This is what they don't think about, as the greed blinds them, as if they don't already have enough money. I mean bucket fucking loads of money, even without the tax cuts. What they don't think of is the mob coming after them. Why would the mob come after them? Because they have the money, that's why. So I told the oligarchy outright, I said, you people have the money, you're the targets. They're always going to come back knocking on your door. Donnie will come back over and over, knocking on your door for more tribute. Zuckerberg's hit him twice already, to the tune of somewhere around $16 million. ABC, Paramount, what are we talking, 37 million in settlements. Zuckerberg, 15 million, I believe, settlement. Zuckerberg also gave $1 million, just straight up tribute. Sundar of Google gave $1 million. I believe Microsoft, I believe Bill Gates did as well. They all did. So the opening round was $1 million. Bezos did that too. $1 million. I believe he bought the $40 million Melania documentary. And I believe he's given some other money as well. So many of you have already given twice. To the tune of, 15 million, 25 million, 1 million. I said to you, even though you people ruined my business, ruined my rep, defamed me, many websites, in a big way this one. In a big way, this company, Google, the adjudicated criminal. I said to you, he's going to keep coming knocking on your door again for more tribute. I know you gave me that $1 million, Mr. Sundar, but I need some more. Again, I listed Bezos, Zuckerberg, Leon, my God, the money he's given. Paramount and ABC. All tribute, all more than once. So let's read this. This is from The Atlantic, and shout out to Big Jeff Goldberg. If you don't know who Jeff Goldberg is, you better fucking ask somebody. Trump's lawsuit with Google has given its CEO a hard choice. Continue with a legal fight he may win on the merits and risk the wrath of the President of the United States, or the dictator, or donate to Trump's presidential library and move on. And that's an article that was in The Atlantic. Trump targets Google after Meta and X payouts. Mr. Sindar's already given $1 million. Google has already given $1 million. Is that good enough for the Antichrist class? Oh no. Is that good enough for the standard mobster? Absolutely not. That's how I knew I was able to make this prediction right here. Donnie was letting people know, what has Google done for me lately? I know you gave me that $1 million, but what have you done for me lately? I'm serious. That's the way the mob acts. And Donnie's the ultimate mobster next to Vlad Putin. He's even worse. So again, we had every CEO oligarch you can fucking think of come lay $1 million at Donnie's feet just in straight tribute when he first got elected. Does that make logical sense to you? No, it doesn't. What makes sense is there was an understanding out there in the elite world, the financial elite world. These people all understood what they had to do. I wonder if a lot of them know who Donnie is. I'm not sure about that. But the way they've laid tribute at his feet multiple times, most of them, makes me wonder, maybe they do know. Maybe they in the club and they know what's up. Maybe they've looked at the occult bullshit too that they all look at. That me and you don't get to look at. But I don't need to look at it. I have the cliff notes to what these cunts want to do. And they, they're doing it. It's coming true. This prediction I made that I told you, the oligarchy, make sure this man don't win. Don't vote for him for tax cuts. Don't get greedy. Because he going to keep coming. Oh, you gave me $1 million last week? You know what? I've been thinking, Stevie Miller, Google hasn't paid me tribute lately, son. Go knock on their door. Mr. Sindar, how you doing? It's Donnie again. It's the Reich again. Here's the jar. What are you going to put in it, motherfucker? It better be more than last time. Right here, The Atlantic. They posted it. What did Donnie say to The Atlantic or some reporter? I run the country and the world. One more time, I want to say this, because people have painted me a lot of things, and a lot of people think they're real smart. I told you outright in plain English, this motherfucker, Donnie Shitbags, would never stop coming to your door for more, oligarchy out there. You didn't listen, and I know some of you are watching. I know it. The tax cuts blinded you as they always do, and you thought you would just walk away after having done that evil you always do every 4 years. Nope, not this time. This time you got the beast, and he gonna keep knocking on your door over and over and over and over and over. And those videos are still up, by the way. I believe they're on another channel, possibly. Because this one had gotten shut down for the 99th time. And my God, I don't even want to go into the whole story of all the different things I was told by this website. But what I tried to tell this website and Mr. Sundar and Google is, don't let this motherfucker win. Don't get blinded by them tax cuts, son. You better make sure he don't win, because he's never going to go away. And you're going to have to keep giving more and more and more. Why? Because you have money. That's why. That's where the mob always goes. What happened with Vanilla Ice? He made it into the big time. 5 minutes fucking later, he's chilling in his hotel room. He got fucking disgusting ass, thug ass Suge Knight at his door, wanting some of that money. Mr. Ice had a choice to make. He could grab a gun and start shooting, or he could let him in and make a deal. And I heard maybe some people may have been hung out some windows. I don't know. Does that stuff happen? Yes, every day, all day. When you come into money, all of a sudden you are a target for every demon on this planet. If you won the lottery tomorrow for $100 million, yes, you'd be all happy thinking about all the things you can buy. You won't have to work no more. You can relax and enjoy life. Yes, that will be part of it. But I guarantee this will happen to you. Someone will come into your life somehow, a demon, for that fortune. I know you'll come up with ideas like, I want to keep my name out of the paper. I don't want anyone to find out. I don't want to talk to him. I'm not even going to answer the phone. It will still find you. That would most likely be what happened. Why? Because demons sniff out money, boy. And when you got that kind of money, there's millions of people that would love to take it away from you any fucking way they can. So you're almost a different animal on this planet when you have that kind of money. You're a target by so many people. So as wonderful as the idea sounds of you coming into a fucking fortune tomorrow, there's some other things you'd come into that would find you no matter what you do. Anyway, let me move on. This is Jim Stewartson giving us a warning. I know the text is small, but you need to understand what this regime just rammed through. The combined ICE, CBT, Palantir operation will create the same internal system of repression as the CCP and Russian Federation. Indeed, we're going to get the Chinese model where the cameras everywhere, surveillance everywhere, listening devices everywhere. You're in a database made by Thale, I'm sure, and you're tracked wherever you go. Anyone can pull up a camera. It goes over to you. A little tag or icon pops up next to you walking down the street, driving down the street. Your information, click on that. We can look at everything about you. We can follow your every movement every single day. We can monitor every transaction because it will be cashless eventually. You're talking about 1984 police state. That's what you're talking about. That's what they're trying to do. Some of it's already been implemented. It's going there. Definitely. That's what Thale's for. And, you know, again, your tax money went to pay Mr. Thale for the right or the privilege of your country being turned into a police surveillance state like China. It's disgusting. And just every nightmare, every damn conspiracy theory that was pointed at liberals, everything in scripture, every jerk-off thing every right-wing podcaster said was going to happen via the liberals. It's all coming true now. But it ain't the liberals. The liberals are the ones about to be locked up, and some of them already have. So yes, what's also in this bill is Palantir stuff, ICE stuff, CBP stuff, internal systems. They dismantled and looted your government already, the bureaucracy and the information they've stolen. They've given to Thale, I'm sure. They have military on your streets, and we got a few death camps going. Where do you think this is going, class? And again, more stuff in the bill. This is the lawyer again. With this vote, Congress makes ICE the highest funded federal law enforcement agency in history. The Gestapo. Highest funded federal law enforcement in history. With more money per year at its disposal over the next 4 years than the budgets of the FBI, DEA, ATF, U.S. Marshals, and Bureau of Prisons combined. Does that sound logical to you? No, it doesn't. That's called, class, forming a new federal police force, or Gestapo, or brown shirts. More like Gestapo. And that's not the only good news, class. They also have, we got bounty hunters out there. We got random jerk-offs in full gear that just want to make some money. On top of this, here's the question I have, Rubes. Because it sounds like to me, this police force will just be the most colossal, expensive, ridiculous thing we've ever seen. More than all these other agencies combined, son. I don't know. It's kind of sounds like to me a dystopian fucking nightmare. And here's the real question, Rubes. Here's the question I want you to think about. A federal law enforcement force that size, plus bounty hunters, random evil people of Satan, whoever wants to, put the machine gun over their shoulder and put a mask on and kidnap people. Would we need a force that size just for illegals? Because I don't know. A force this size, bigger than all these other ones combined. I don't know. It kind of sounds like to me like maybe that force won't just be for illegals. What do you think, Rubes? It almost sounds like they're trying to build this massive Gestapo police force that we've never had before. And these people are famous again for carrying machine guns and wearing masks. And now they'll be bigger than any other agency. And all this money thrown at them in bonuses, it must be a real priority of the Reich. If you're even a novice student of history, you know exactly where this bullshit, masked men and machine guns kidnapping people at Home Depot is going. You think it's going to stop at Home Depot and illegals? The kind of money they're putting into this? In this lovely new bill you're cheering for? The bill to subjugate your dumbass. Donnie already said next up is the homegrowns, right, Mr. Bukele? Ha 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 ha. Donnie talked about it the other day. There were some people that born here, I'd like to get rid of them too. They've done horrible things. God, I've gone an hour and a half already. I didn't even have that much to talk about today. I digress too fucking much. Oh, this is some more great news. I mean, not an abomination at all. I mean, Rubes, have you asked yourself, how many evil things can be announced and preached per day by the Reich? Are you starting to notice like a pattern, like this ridiculous amount of evil done per day? You haven't noticed? You must be evil then. Supreme Court lets Trump deport 8 migrants to South Sudan. Oh, wow, that sounds great. America's really moving in the right direction. Now we got a death camp in Sudan. And most of the people we're going to send, they're not even from Sudan. So we got CCOT, we got like Rwanda, we got Sudan, we got the Everglades, a flooded facility in the Everglades during a light rain. So far, I wonder who's going to step up next and be the next death camp. Because we can't say they don't exist, class. It's just so great to see the Supreme Court once again co-sign abject evil, sending people to some third world shithole that no one in their right mind would want to go to. Unbelievable. The threats must have definitely went out to their families. Because they just rubber stamping shit now. And Mr. and Mrs. Supreme Court justices, and I'm talking to the conservative ones, because they're the ones down with the Reich. You're creating a monster you will not be able to control in any way, shape, or form. You should know this. Miss Barrett started to notice this. Now she's just rubber stamping too again. Every rubber stamp you give this motherfucker, every inch you give, he will take light years. Until maybe one day, Your Eminence, you may be the one in fucking handcuffs. Just like Bukele did in his country. You're creating a monster, but you've been hearing this for 10 years and you still continue. You think you can contain the beast, don't you? You're like Leon. You think you can put a leash on the beast and rein him in at times when you want to. Oh, no, son. Oh, no. And I can tell the threats to the families went out. Quite obvious. So are you proud of yourself, America? Now you're shipping people to Sudan. Would you want to go to Sudan? Even for 5 minutes? No, you wouldn't. Trump's concentration camp got flooded. Yes, I saw a time-lapse video where the whole floor got flooded. Looks like about 6 to 8 inches of water. Here's a picture. You can see the reflections on the floor there. That's water. That's not the floor. And it starts off as a puddle way down the hall, and as the time-lapse goes, it fills up almost the whole room with like 6 to 8 inches of water. There's not one person there yet. The cells are already fucking flooded. So we had the big press conference yesterday or the day before. I can't fucking remember. It's all a blur of abominations to me. Where everyone's smiling and acting, cracking jokes in the new death camp as the thing was flooding on the sides of the tent. We've seen the pictures. We've seen the footage. They had a red carpet Hollywood back banner that people could stand in front of and take photos with big smiles on their face at the new death camp in the swamp. Now we have, again, a time-lapse video. This is the whole room is full of water. And it looks to be about 6 to 8 inches deep. And it's a pretty interesting piece of video. And I put it in the post section and I put the link. So if you want to go check it out, you got to scroll back a little bit. I do post a lot. I don't want to. I just go by what's pertinent to the direction, the focus I want you people to be focused on, which I think is most important, because not every detail is important right now. Don't waste your time doing that. Trust your sources that you know aren't sensationalists, because you don't need all the details. You see the direction it's going. And the direction is dystopian nightmare apocalypse. Nazi style. Antichrist style. So the more evil they do, the more times I post. The more things I think you should see, the more times I post. Some days are slow. Today was a little slow. Still got some major evil in. And you know, it amazes me how many abominations, blasphemies, and evils Donnie can do per day. It's fascinating to watch, actually. Fascinating to see the sheep go along as well. Even now. Donnie did a little interview by a plane today. I don't know where the fuck he was. In his white USA hat. As if he ain't a straight up grifter. As if he gives a fuck about the United States. Trump on difference between his first and second terms. I think I have more power now. Well, indeed. Yeah, he's taking it. Not listening to the courts, the laws, nothing. And he said he runs the country and the world. And they asked him that question. What's the difference between your first and second terms? I think I have more power now. Remember Caesar said that. Remember the Antichrist said that. Because that's sure something they would say. Would you hear Joe Biden say something like that? I think I have more power this time. No. You know why Joe Biden wouldn't say that? Because he doesn't want more power than the presidency gives him. He doesn't have that desire in his heart, and that was obvious. He didn't want to run the fucking world. Donnie does. Joe Biden didn't want to be worshipped. Donnie does. And it's obvious. So Donnie thinks he has more power now, just so you know what he's thinking. Here's the lawyer again. Hours after ICE became the highest federal law enforcement agency in American history, and likely in world history, the Supreme Court lists the last obstacle to ICE deporting people to any random country around the world, even in conflict zones or where migrants are enslaved. I assume he's talking about Sudan there. It's not a nice place. And he's talking about the ruling that these 8 people can be sent to Sudan. That's what they've been waiting for. A ruling that basically says you can send anyone anywhere. To any death camp you'd like, Donnie. Even Sudan. We're going to pretend like Sudan's a safe place to send these people. Even though we know it's not. So yeah, just like the lawyer said, the Supreme Court is now given permission. Yeah, send anybody anywhere. We heard the threats to our families loud and clear. Do whatever you want, Donnie. And you know, when I talk about these things, imagine yourself, be ye rube, bot, or whatever the fuck you are. Imagine yourself being sent to Sudan. What the fuck would you do? Well, you would die. That's what you would do. Imagine yourself being sent to CCOT. Because a lot of those people that got sent are innocent. They don't belong there. And I guarantee 99% of them don't belong there for life. Picture yourself going to CCOT. What would you do? You would die. That's what you would do. Picture yourself going to that hot-ass death camp down in Florida. What would you do? Oh, you would die. So when you talk lightly about these people, deport them all, do this, do that, I don't care, blah, just get them out, that's what you're doing, son. What you're saying is I don't care about another human being's life at all, simply because they crossed a line that they weren't supposed to. And the only reason they cross that line is people like Donnie hire them. That's why they cross that line. Otherwise, they wouldn't. So everyone that hates these people and says that they take jobs, blame the companies that hire them. That's who you should be mad at, son. And I don't see them arresting CEOs. I don't see guys in machine guns and masks arresting CEOs that damn well know half of America runs on illegal labor. They hire them. This is just disgusting, grabbing these people, sending them to fucking Sudan, sending people to CCOT. Disgusting from second one. Again, none of this is funny. None of this is politics. And you're going to learn that the hard way. The man going to learn you that lesson. And I would not want to be you if you've been preaching Satan's gospel this past 10 years for the Antichrist, for Satan. Whether you know it or not, irrelevant to me. Irrelevant to the man. Let's continue. Trump on military aid to Ukraine. The question was, well, why have you stopped shipments to Ukraine? What's going on? We have to make sure we have enough for ourselves. Okay, when has America not had enough weapons for itself? We are the, I don't know, heaven of weapons. Or maybe I should say hell of weapons. Because that's actually what we are. Why? Because we have more weapons than any fucking place on earth by far. Again, I found a large caliber bullet in front of a Chinese restaurant in a parking lot one night. I might have showed it to you on camera. I can't remember if I threw it away or not. That bullet was big and heavy. It wasn't no little fucking, tiny thing, 22 or something. Right on the ground, right in front of the Chinese restaurant. My point is, let's be honest here. Rubes, let me explain how it works. When we give weapons to a country like Ukraine, we give them the old shit, not the up-to-date super modern shit. That's for us. So if we give them a bunch of old weapons, if we'd already don't have replacements for them, we would contact the weapons or the weapons manufacturer. We need, 100 more missiles, whatever. The newest ones. So Ukraine takes our old shit. We have the state-of-the-art newest shit, and we never run low, son. That's not America. We've spent more on the various governments of this country over the decades have spent more on the military than damn near every country in the world combined. So in America, we don't run out of bullets here. Let's be honest. So why is Donnie, reneging on promised shipments to Ukraine? I think everyone knows that answer, be ye rube, bot, or not. He's Donnie Krasnov. He's been a Russian asset since 1987. And he's helping Vlad by not giving weapons to Ukraine. And we all knew this was going to happen. We all knew if he got elected, he would pull this whole song and dance with turning on Ukraine and becoming ever more friendly with Vlad. And we're watching that every day. He just announced this morning that he was going to have a conference with his boss, Vlad Putin. Mr. Krasnov said that this morning. He posted it for all of us to see. So America has already made sure we have enough for ourselves. The people that are dying in Ukraine are the ones that need the weapons. And we got plenty of them, son. Even the old shit. So Donnie's lying. The Antichrist is lying his face off in service of his master, Vlad. Trump on his call with Putin. We also talked about the war with Ukraine, and I'm not happy about that. I didn't make any progress with him today at all. That's not like Donnie to ever say that. But this is his master he's talking about, his literal master, Vlad Putin. So he's feeling a bit deflated and not his usual bold self. Because Vlad is not helping him get the Nobel. That's all Donnie wants in this situation. So Donnie actually admitted, yeah, I talked to Putin and we made no progress. That's not like Donnie. Usually, Donnie's every day. We made 97 trade deals. I brought $73 million trillion into the country, aka my pocket. Every day we hear him do this. Just lie his face off about achievements that aren't even remotely achieved. Yesterday, we just made the concept of a deal with Vietnam. They announced a deal with Vietnam months ago, son. So that tells me that was a fucking lie. Now we're only at the stages of concepts of a deal with Vietnam. Not Britain, not Russia, not China, not any of the big nations. We got Vietnam. We got a concept for Vietnam, though. Oh, wow. We can all relax now. So that's normally, Donnie. Remember how bold he was. Nothing's going to happen with Ukraine until me and Vlad get together. Remember he said that a while back? Acting like he's going to solve the whole thing, him and Vlad. Nope. We're still here months later. Donnie's looking like a fucking fool because he said he'd stop all these wars day one. He's bombed 3 countries. He's helped Israel bomb a country. He was announcing ceasefires in Israel. Meanwhile, the second the ceasefire was announced, Israel drops, 8 megaton warheads on fucking Iran. You know what I mean? I'm exaggerating, but... And Donnie even flipped about that. And Vlad... Donnie keeps putting up this facade that he has some type of, good relationship or hold over Vlad Putin. No, you're his bitch, and he proves that to you daily. And you know what Vlad did today, right after their conversation? Launched a huge scale attack on Ukraine, just to show, you don't call me up demanding peace, son. You're my bitch. You're my orange bitch. Don't ever forget that. And every time Donnie starts to lie about a possible peace between Russia and Ukraine and make himself kind of like, don't worry, I'll fix it with Vlad. Vlad makes sure to let us all know by a major attack, I have no respect for this bitch. He's my bitch. And we're not used to that in America. We're used to Vlad being our bitch. Until Rubery started and the talking points were distributed by Vlad 20 years ago up until this moment. And you people started repeating them. Vlad used to be our bitch. Now you're Vlad's bitch. And he'd been waiting a long time for it. And you just handed it right to him via your messiah, Donnie Krasnov. Handed it to him, son. Didn't have to fire a shot. That's how stupid you people are. That's how unpatriotic you people are. That's how little you care for your nation and your children's future. You knew he was Vlad's bitch. Don't pretend like you didn't, son. Made it quite obvious in the beginning. First term, not second. Now, my God. He's actually outright admitting, yeah, I didn't make any progress with Vlad. That's not Donnie's shitbags. Donnie's like, I handle everything. I'm God. Everyone listens to me. Everyone does what I want. I run everything. No, Vlad runs you right now. Until he snaps that leash. Vlad is the last guy running this motherfucker, too. Snapped Leon's leash. I have a feeling eventually he will turn on Vlad like I've always said, but he's already turned on Leon. Turned on Bibi for a little while, too, while he was grifting with the Arabs. I didn't make any progress with him today at all because Vlad owns my bitch ass. That's a deflated Donnie shitbags, in case you didn't notice. Donnie don't say stuff like that. Donnie's in control of every situation at all times. That's how the image he likes to portray for you. Contractors at the Everglades Detention Center are covering poorly their logos and US DOT numbers, which is illegal. Yes, here's a picture. So we've got ICE agents wearing masks with machine guns kidnapping people so we don't know who they are because they're ashamed of what they're doing. They know the world will despise them and spit in their fucking face. Now we have contractors that work for a death camp, hiding their company name. And the question I have to ask to the ICE agents, and I don't want to hear about your family's safety, fuck off and die with that lie, son. We all know why you wear the mask. If you, the ICE agents, and the company are doing something legit that you don't have to be ashamed of, why are you covering your face? Why are you covering your company logo? Everyone knows the answer to that question. You're doing evil. You're the hand of Satan. You're kidnapping people, and this contractor is helping enable those kidnappings. To the point he's so ashamed of what he's doing, he's covering the name on the truck. What argument do you make for that, Rubes? When you have to cover your company name because of what you're doing, you actually don't want people to see your company name because you're ashamed of what you're doing. You know people will judge you for it and say you are evil. There will be repercussions, financially and others. All I have to say is if you're doing something you're proud of, why the mask? Why masking your company name with literal masking tape? The point I'm trying to make is you're evil if your name's on this because you're part of this movement. The agents hiding their face, being kidnappers that jump out of vans with machine guns and masks, taking people away to death camps. You're evil, and you know it, and you're doing evil. That's why you wear the mask. You don't want people to know who you are whilst you're doing evil. This contractor is doing evil by servicing a death fucking camp in the swamp. And he knows it, so he covered the name of the company. That's the answer. There's no other argument. There's no other answer. The talking points are fucking irrelevant. How do I know that I'm right about what I'm saying, class? Because motherfuckers are putting masks on to kidnap people, and the motherfuckers servicing the kidnappers are covering their company logo. I guess they ain't proud of what they doing. And I have the completely different philosophy for the protester that wears the mask. Why? Because the protester is not the one in the position of authority or power. The protester has to worry about being taken by the Reich and killed or jailed. So I understand the mask there. There's no shame in what they're doing when they protest. They're just worried the Reich's going to kill them. Completely opposite situation of men actively doing evil by kidnapping people. Men actively doing evil by servicing the Reich with their business. Covering their business name, covering their face. They have the positions of power. There's no one, that they need to be afraid of. So they don't need the mask, do they? Just like our local police don't need the mask. They arrest hardcore motherfuckers all the time that might want to harm them. Yet our police officers don't wear a mask. And they've taken down way more dangerous criminals than the cunts in the masks going to the Home Depots and restaurants, arresting dishwashers, lawn maintenance people, construction workers, and fucking guys waiting for a contractor to pick them up at Home Depot. I'm not worried about those people. Those people don't scare me. Those people ain't committing crimes. They're working for a fucking living. That's what they're trying to do. So these people, the guys in masks and machine guns are taking, are way less dangerous than the people dealt with by the regular police officers. They're not afraid. They're not ashamed of what they're doing. They're not wearing a mask. Why are you, when you're dealing with less dangerous individuals than the police are? We all know the answer to that question. Local police, they got to come back to the same neighborhood every day, too. They don't wear a mask. Florida lawmakers denied access to detention camp in the Everglades because of safety concerns, but those safety concerns do not extend to those detained there or the President of the United States who got a tour yesterday. There's also no running water or plumbing. I guess a bunch of people tried to visit the site. Some lawmakers from the area, they were denied access. Even though they had a press conference yesterday and it seemed perfectly safe, right? And we're at the end here. I just found this comment interesting. The US ruling class has effectively given up on competing with China and is just trying to loot as much as they can from everyone else while the ship sinks. Indeed. And it's not just about competing with other countries. This Reich, this movement, it's a satanic thing. The people at the top worship a certain thing. And no, they're not liberals. In other words, it's even bigger than a bunch of oligarchs saying, we don't want to compete with these other countries. Let's just steal everything. They are doing that and they are saying that, but there's a bigger goal involved. There's bigger influences involved than just greed or laziness, not wanting to compete. Because how do you compete with a communist dictatorship like China? Manufacturing wise, anyway wise, they just change the rules, the value of their currency, whatever they want to do. There's no rules there, which is what we're turning into very quickly, by the way. So it's much bigger than this person realizes, but it's still an excellent comment. And in regards to what I'm about to say as well, what do you have? You have people like Thale, Leon, other people of that ilk, Satanists, Donnie. What they're really doing is they're liquidating and stealing and dismantling everything. Because they can't have a society with rights and freedom and upward mobility possible. They want to cull us down. They want a permanent underclass. They don't want you being able to go to college and buy a house and all that upward mobility if you were poor. They want you to stay poor. That's the plan. No borders in the North American Empire. From Greenland all the way down to the top portion of South America, that would be the North American Empire. According to the Nazi scientist that put it in his novel years ago. That became a religion to Leon's dad, his granddaddy, Leon, Thale and his people, Donnie, and others. This is a religion to these people. But what also, there's another influence. Satan himself. There's the spiritual influence and agenda that leads to the Holy Land. And boy, has Donnie been about the Holy Land. You notice that? I have. Almost more than any other president. To the point he says we're going to own Gaza. They put out the commercial with the 40-foot gold Donnie statues on the Holy Land. You saw that, right? You saw the Nazi salute by Leon too, right? So although greed and outright theft is part of this, that's not the only agenda, and those aren't the only influences. There is an active worship of an entity going on. That entity will eventually want you to worship his beast called Donnie. That will take place in the Holy Land when Donnie goes there. When that temple's built, that's when he'll reveal before us all what he is. That's when every doubt in everyone's mind will go away like that. When he intimates or says or makes in some way the inside of that temple about worship of him. That will be the final, complete revelation and answer to every person wondering. Once that moment takes place, every single person will have their answer and understand he's the Antichrist, despite what you thought he was. No one will have any questions anymore. And along the way, if what you've seen hasn't convinced you that this is going to happen, what I'm about to say, he's going to offer you a mark. And you're not going to be allowed to participate in society unless you worship his image. The false prophet will demand an image be made to him and that it be worshipped. Again, worship can mean a lot of things. Or it could mean outright spiritual worship. Who knows? I'm not God. What form it will take. You'll be given a new currency. We will be cashless. You'll be given a mark. It will probably be used to track you as well. Mr. RFK already talked about wearables for health purposes. They're not for health purposes. And you will not be allowed to participate in society unless you are part of what is called the beast system. You must take the mark. I'm sure some pledge of loyalty and renunciation of your God and what you believe will be involved in this process, because it has to be, because they can't trick you into it. The coin is already alive. It already has 666 on it. I've shown you why and how that is. Do your ABCs. Go up to the letter F. Count 1 until you get to the letter F. You'll understand what I'm saying. Understand the letter F is iterated 3 times. The word on the coin is iterated 3 times. Do your ABCs. Count them off. And what letter is F, class? You have to do it at your homework. And then just remember that letter's on there 3 times, right at the beginning. Has any other president done this? Any other world leader? So there will be some type of vow, agreement, whatever, to renounce what you believe for belief in that thing, worship, and you won't be allowed to participate in society. Will there be another way to eat and survive? I'm not God, I don't know. You may be asked to make a real sacrifice, and you know what the sacrifice will be? You. And again, there's precedent for this. The apostles and Christ himself died in horrible, horrible, horrible ways. It was not a fun existence. Christians were fed to lions as entertainment in Rome. The Jews have been persecuted since the beginning of fucking time. And then there's World War II Germany. There's what Vlad's doing right now. How many countries has he just murdered? Hundreds of thousands of people. How many people in his own country has he murdered? World War II, extermination of anyone they felt like. Gypsies, Jews, Christians, sympathizers to the people that were being persecuted, liberals, socialists, nuns, anyone they felt like. Started with Jews, really started with liberals and socialists. Then it started with Jews, then it went to everybody else. So there is precedent for great, great suffering. And I imagine a lot of those people in the death camps in World War II said to themselves, there can't be no God. Why would God let this happen? I guarantee that was said 1,000,000 times a day. I get that same attitude about things that happen to me or the world or whatever. But I usually remember, look, this isn't the perfect realm here, no matter how much we want it to be. And the reason certain people want to be immortal are transhumanists like Peter Thiel. He's discussed it outright. You know, the evil people that Alex Jones talked about that said he said they were liberal when they're really you and Thiel and him, Alex Jones. They know the next place they're not going to rule and have a kingdom like they have here. They want to stay here forever. That's why they want to do the immortality thing. Thiel talked about it openly. Plus, they worship Satan to have gotten to where they are. In control. There's a reason they're in control. Because they're of Satan. Satan wanted them there. So they ain't going to turn into nice guys tomorrow. It's the whole reason why they're where they're at. So they don't give a fuck about heaven or Jesus or anything like that. They don't give a fuck about their fellow man. They give a fuck about their empire here. They want to stay in that empire forever. They want to stay the ruling class forever. That's why oligarchs type people believe in that type of thing. They get to rule here. There's a reason they get to rule here. You know what the reason is? His name is Satan. Satan is the king of this world. Although we hear all the time how God runs everything. No, God allows Satan to have dominion here. Why? Because man asked for it. That's why. How did man ask for it? The Garden of Eden. That's how they asked for it. Man and woman asked for it, by the way. It's not either or's fault. It's both their fault. They both disobeyed. And that's what God said to the man when he tried to blame it on the woman. He said, don't point at her, motherfucker. You ate the apple too, and I told you not to. So man asked, what did essentially, when you reduce it all down, what did man do? Decided, I don't want to listen to God anymore. I don't want to follow God. I'm going to follow the Satan guy by listening to him. So that's why we're all at where we're at today. Although stories like the Garden of Eden sound fantastical, it makes perfect sense by what I've seen. Some realm that was created by God for man to inhabit, because I guess God just wanted some entertainment or something. I notice in scripture it talks about we're made in his image, and the reason we were made was for his pleasure. I think about how human beings love stories and movies. How we're just all about that. So many of us. So many of us love the thought of going and seeing a movie, watching a drama play out before us, where we just get to sit back and watch it. Now, God's an active participant. He created it. He made it. He intervenes sometimes, I assume. But it'll never be paradise down here, ever, until he comes back. That's the only way it can happen. It's impossible for humanity to achieve on its own. Why? The Garden of Eden, son. Also why? We lost the perfect state. The earth lost its perfect state of non-entropy. We lost our perfect state of non-entropy. The price of following the devil was death, women having to have children in pain and stuff like that, curses, tilling the soil, working, sweating, misery. That's what man and the devil have wrought. What God wrought in the beginning was the paradise. You didn't have to work. You didn't have to till the field. The shit just grew, and you walked by and picked a fucking apple and ate it. There was no death. There was no sickness. There was no nothing. It was just paradise. Well, man and woman wasn't satisfied with that. They wanted to be like God. They wanted to know things. They didn't just want to chill and enjoy it. So many of us are like that, aren't we? We got to cause drama. We got to cause problems. We got to be a self-sabotage mechanism. And I think a lot of us are guilty of that. I think I'm guilty of that. I think back to some of the jobs I had. Not all of them, some of them. Where I got to the point where I didn't want to be there no more. And I would start doing things without even thinking to make that happen. Because subconsciously, I didn't want to be there anymore. that manifested physically by me doing and saying things to make sure I wouldn't be there anymore. I think a lot of human beings are their own worst enemies. We get to a place where everything's okay, and that's not good enough. We have this need to self-sabotage when everything's okay. Not all of us, a lot of us. And ruin it. That's the best way I can explain that desire in the beginning in the story. I don't know if it exactly went that way. The story may be more metaphorical, where it started off one woman, one man. I don't know how we would get a population this size that way without a lot of incest. So it may have started with more than one man and one woman. There's a lot of different theories on that. But that's not the point. The point is, any man and woman there, we would have all made the same mistake. Because we're imperfect. So we all would have followed the devil. We all would have thirsted for that knowledge that we weren't supposed to thirst for. We all would have, instead of just sitting back and enjoying this motherfucker, this state of perfection. No, we're going to follow the devil and listen to him. And, you know, in the beginning, before knowing good and evil, they were like children. They had an innocence. Once they found out about evil and the fact they were naked and all that, they were different, never the same. The whole species. And if you look at history, try and use a lens of the spiritual war between good and evil, and the two main entities in that fight, God and the devil. And look at the different things that have played out, and look at how society is structured, where a few families at the top keep everything. They're into freaky, weird occult bullshit behind closed doors. And the rest of us down here, we just all fight for the scraps. That don't sound like paradise, does it? No, it sounds like a scam. And the reason it's a scam is because Satan runs this world. And most of the people in charge of it are of Satan. That's why they're in charge. Because they will do the evil Satan wants them to do. You're in the final part of the story with the Antichrist, the person predicted for thousands of years. When I personally look back through history, I see the fight. When I think about strange things that happen in my own life and what I've been preaching for 10 years, I see the attempts to stop me. I see the attempts to silence me. Outlandish things that I can't even tell you about, okay, have happened to me this past 10 years. I never broke a bone before this past 10 years. I've broken quite a few in this last 10 years. What I'm trying to say is, I've looked at history, different things involving paganism like Santa Claus, and I find it fascinating. This sounds stupid, I know, but it's real. Santa Claus, S-A-N-T-A. It's the exact letters in the name Satan. Did you notice that? Santa. You don't have to add no letters, take none away. So on a holiday that most of us know as Christian called Christmas, instead of talking about Jesus Christ every 5 seconds, our children, us, we talk about Santa every 5 seconds, our children and us. And it completely eclipses the whole Jesus thing for Christmas Day and the Christmas season. Just crucifies it. Do you find that interesting? I do. That the character that we all teach our children about, instead of Jesus Christ, is a guy named Santa who has the same letters in his first name as another guy, Satan. Here's another weird theory. I don't even know why I'm talking about this, but again, it's going to sound stupid, but I know the psyche of this thing called Satan. Almost every culture in the world has a spring celebration and a winter celebration. One's for fertility, one's for something else. Almost every damn culture you can think of. Now, in the spring, we celebrate Christ's alleged resurrection. In the winter, we celebrate his birth. So we have a spring and we have a winter. Now, I know what all of you scholars, geniuses, people that know better than to take God seriously, because you're too smart. I know. You're a genius and I'm not. Because I believe in God, I must be stupid, right? You must be smarter than me, right? Wrong. Where was I going with this? Oh, the holidays. Most of you will say in academia, in the atheist world, in the I don't believe world, oh, the Christian church just stole those holidays from the pagans. You could make that argument. Here's my argument. Why did Satan want those 2 days? Why did Satan want that spring celebration and that winter celebration in just like every damn culture you can think of? That's how I look at it. You know why I look at it that way? Because when you read scripture and you take a look at world history, what you see, especially in scripture, is talk about ruining God's creation every 5 seconds by these other entities that are real mad about it. Underneath the umbrella of an entity that wants to be worshipped as God, and is real mad that he isn't. So the first plan was to stop the birth of Jesus Christ, destroy the genetic line in whatever way that was done, so that the line of Christ would be polluted. Therefore, Christ would not have been God's son of God and been the Messiah. He would have been a polluted, non-redeemable entity in the line of Satan, physically, through reproduction. That was the first plan. Why? Because Satan knows some of the future. He also knew that scripture thing that was coming out. It didn't have to be written yet. He already knew it. He knows his role in it. The lake. And evil. My point is, so since Satan knew aspects of the future, he would have known that we would take a day in the spring and a day in the winter to celebrate Christ's birth and Christ's resurrection. So what would Satan do from day one? Well, he'd make pagan celebrations of fertility and whatever the winter one was, I forget. He would make those ceremonies and those days about him. The other way, he makes Christ's birth about him, that day that we've chosen as a globe, about a guy named Santa with the same letters in his name as Satan. That's how his psyche works. And I know it sounds stupid, but it means a lot to him. What I'm trying to say is the pagan cultures were influenced by Satan. Satan most likely chose those days, having prior knowledge that this Messiah person, this Christ person, was going to have a celebratory day in the spring about him called Easter, that we've made about the Easter bunny, for fuck's sake, and fertility, a pagan, pagan symbols. Just like the pagan Christmas tree, the pagan holly, all of it's fucking pagan. There's verses in scripture that talk about don't bring a tree in your home like the pagans and do all that stuff. I stopped doing that at a certain age. I can't remember how many years it's been. And I was a person that would spend $100 on a Christmas tree at least. Get a beautiful one. Decorate it with family heirloom decorations that my mother hand painted. And I didn't even like my mother that much. But I knew the work she put into that. And she was better than any professional. My God. The paint work, the things she made, the cake she baked. Expert. I've never seen anything like it. You go into a trinket store and look at painted statues and ornaments. They look like ass. My mother's shit looked alive. My God, the talent she had for that. So I had like 2 large boxes of heirloom ornaments handmade by my mother. Some made by my brother and me when we were little kids. Did the whole mother. Every branch got something on it. And garland, and tinsel, and lights. And a tree stand, and water. I went from that to saying, I can't do this anymore. Even though I love it, I can't do this anymore. It's a straight up pagan practice. I gotta stop. On the day of Christ's birth as well, we're all doing it. I don't think we're going to go to hell for it. I hope not. I don't think a lot of people even realize what they're doing. But when you go back and look at all these things that are pagan, symbols, things that were used in pagan rituals for their winter celebration. And we're doing it as Christians and praising a man called Santa who has the same letters as Satan. How the hell did I get into all this? So when we think of those 2 days that celebrate Christ, the 2 days a year, the spring and the winter, same timing as the celebrations by the pagans, that argument for me that we just stole that from the pagans, I don't buy that. Because I know the psyche of this thing we're talking about. I think he chose those days intentionally, knowing that the Messiah person was coming, and there would be these 2 celebratory days in honor of him. That's what I think. I know every scholar out there will say, no, the church just was trying to get the pagans to join the church, so they did this. No. Nope. This is how I spent some of my life as I've learned these different things. I've actually pondered the psyche of the devil. That's where I got this from. And as crazy as it sounds, again, you don't understand what the mission of the devil is. He wants to be worshipped as God. He wants to be God. And if he can't, he wants to mar everything of God. He wants to ruin God's plan. He wants to ruin you. He tried to stop the birth of Jesus Christ and many other things. And if he can't stop the story where he ends up in the lake, he will ruin and kill and destroy as much as he can before that point. Because he knows where he's going. And just like scripture says, he knows he only has a short time. That's what you're seeing now. The short time. The anger. The persecution, the wrath of Satan. That's what's being dispensed by the day. And it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And eventually, you're going to witness the wrath of God. And that is truly terrifying. That's where this is going. And again, as always, I hope I'm wrong about everything. And again, as always, you cannot take the mark when he offers it. I have to end this thing. And please, I almost forgot, if you can help out, I'm going to put the PayPal at the top of the comment section. Shit is getting very dire. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to do this or do anything at all. I put so much time into this every fucking day because I know how important it is, even if you don't. There's a reason I'm telling you these things every night. There's a reason I'm spending so much time, because it's that important. Again, I'm not the guy you heard a million times before over the decades saying this is it. It's really it this time. But anyway, again, shit's getting pretty dire. So if you can help, I'd appreciate it. And I do put a lot of work into this. And I put a lot of work into this for years without putting a PayPal up. For free. Not looking for any reward. And I'm still not. I'm just trying to survive, man. And this is like a full-time job for me, what the time I put in per day. And it's taking from other areas of my life are suffering. So that's why I'm going this route. I didn't want to. Because I know how hard it is out there, man. But what I'm doing is I'm tailoring information specifically for you, not like other people do it. So you get what you need to fucking know. And not just, every single thing that took place. I want you to focus on what matters. And what matters is what I present to you. And my sources have been vetted for years. I don't have to research one fucking thing they say, even though I do. But I don't have to. That's how much trust I have in these people. So anyway, if you can help out, I'd really appreciate it. And to the people that already have, thank you so much. You don't even understand, but it's getting real dire, and I'd like to continue. Just like last time with the Cornell, with the mob stuff, right at the beginning of it. Big-ass monkey wrench got thrown in to stop what? Us. From talking about it, from discovering things, from telling the world what was happening, because the cops weren't doing shit. They haven't done shit till this day. Bennington as well. Bourdain. Something did not want me talking about that stuff. And boy, did they throw everything at me to get me distracted. I won't go into what they threw at me, but my God. And my God, the campaign we faced. Right at the beginning. Big-ass monkey wrench got thrown in to stop me and us from making it a thing. Why? Because Satan didn't want us making it a thing. And the evil that came at me especially, and some of you, my God. There's a reason that happened. There's a reason it was as vile as it was. There's a reason it was shut down so many times, so many places. Somebody don't want Nikki talking about that. And I ain't talking about the the rock stars' wives. I'm talking about something much bigger than that. This situation here right now, if I told you what took place just before he won the election, and just before his assassination attempt, till now, in my life, the different things, which I will not tell you right now, you'd understand what I'm saying. I'm at that point again, where the most important thing that needs to be talked about, in a certain way, too, the way I do it. Because the way I do it gets Satan to come a-running. Because he don't like the way I do it. And he don't like what I say. That's where we're at right now again. And another 19 monkey wrenches got thrown in all of a sudden. right before the moment of his assassination until now. So what I'm trying to say is I'm at that monkey wrench point again where somebody trying to shut this the fuck down. And again, if I told you all the things that happened to me in this past year, in the build up to this and up until this moment, you wouldn't believe it. I know why it's happening. I know why people are doing what they're doing. I know why people are saying what they're saying. I know why this new monkey wrench got thrown in. So please, help me continue this. Like people helped me before when the first monkey wrench got thrown in. The thing got huge, and everyone that was part of that, the mob thing, the old thing, everyone that's watched that, they knew it would have blew up like a fucking bomb. But the powers that be here and all the other websites and the mobsters I was talking about did not want that to happen. And boy, did they do their best to make sure it didn't, just like this website. This website's reward for shutting down the truth is Vlad stealing $100 million of their money to the point they had to close down their business in Russia, and Donnie's stealing $1 million from them in tribute so far, and Donnie's coming back for more. That's their thanks for helping the mob, helping Vlad Putin, helping Satan. That's your thanks, Google. Enjoy. So please help me continue this, because it's important. And honestly, I really believe this. I'm not just saying this to you. The bad guy doesn't want me to continue. Just like the bad guy didn't want me to continue last time. Who do you think those wives are of? Who do you think their daddy is? Why do you think vile campaigns happen, like, bots coming or trolls coming with names like man hanging in bathroom? Why do you think that happened? Did that seem normal to you? It wasn't normal. Anyway, please help out if you can. I'll put the PayPal up at the top of the comment section. And until the next episode, have a wonderful evening.